All right, here we are back, episode 92, coming to you from the ice apocalypse or winter apocalypse that the majority of the U.S. is experiencing now. Normally, I know the people up north, northeast are kind of just laughing. It's another snowy day in paradise, but here in the south, it wreaks havoc on everything, even though it's only a light dusting of white. But anyways, there you go. What are we talking about today? Earnings. Some big earnings this week. Intel, Netflix kind of kicks off early earnings season. So we'll talk a little about that. Of course, there's TikTok news going around this week also. And then we'll see where that takes us. Earnings, the big earnings kick off next week with Mag 7 starting. So maybe we can touch on predictions on that. I'm sure we have a lot of predictions going into that. So there we go.
So you had a light dusting and you're having an apocalypse?
Yeah, I just looked out and it's like you could see a little, there's some ice around. I think maybe that's the biggest difference. Is like up north, you guys get like snow, right? Where it just doesn't stick. But here we get ice. And so when it ices, you can't really do anything, especially driving, just because, ice is ice. You kind of like slip all over the place. And anyways, if it was snow, It's not so bad.
I know. I've been watching the news and hearing about the snowpocalypse that's going from the south all the way up to the northeast. And we're over here in Washington on the West Coast enjoying our sunny 45-degree days.
Again, one of the reasons I kind of miss San Francisco is just the weather is pretty mild. It's just always between 50s, 60s, it's always a nice day.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle always gets heat for being the rainiest city, but I think when you live here, it's not as bad as people might think it is. And I'd rather be in like drizzle for a few months versus snowpocalypse in like Minnesota or Wisconsin or even, I guess, Texas now.
Yeah, global warming, yay.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful here, but we are going to get rain starting at the end of next week. So that's not going to be fun.
All right.
Yeah. But let's start off with the earnings and the stock market. Stock market was pretty wild this week. If for those of you following along, because of the whole Greenland conflict that Trump was executing, trying to take over Greenland from the European nations, Twitter comments, Truth Social, et cetera, et cetera. And then stock market, I think, opened like down 1% to 2%.
Yeah, it was down like 2%
on Monday. No, on Tuesday. Monday was MLK.
It was down like 2%. Yeah.
And then Trump announced that they had the concepts of a deal.
Yeah, on Wednesday. Yeah, at Davos.
After meeting at
Davos was this week. If you're not aware what Davos is, it's where all the billionaires and such show up and discuss how they want to govern the world. Is essentially what it is. And then Trump was there on Wednesday. He tacoed.
A lot of other European leaders were there.
He tacoed, and then the market just went bananas. Millionaires, life-changing money was made that day for many people. Not I, of course, because I was out grocery shopping for the snowpocalypse. My time.
Yeah. I mean, I basically benefited from just holding. I mean, I didn't sell anything. I didn't just held. And Tesla, as an example, went from like 420s to 450 in a matter of 2 days, which was a nice win. But yeah, we talked about it last week. Taco, Trump,
inevitable.
I mean, like it's just the types of things that happen publicly that make me eye roll, where it's like, why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad they figured that out. I'm glad that we seem to be getting more access to what is positioned as national security, although we all know he also wants oil, and I'm glad that's kind of figured out for now.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a rocky start to the markets, and then we had earnings,
which continued to be rocky. So Netflix was the first to report from the Mag 7. They always kick off the Mag 7 earnings as the first one, and everyone kind of looks to Netflix to kind of set the tone. On the positives is they beat earnings. On the negatives is they were down about like 4 or 5% overnight because of weaker growth projection. I think the other thing is Netflix strengthened their deal for the Warner Brothers acquisition, and they actually borrowed money in the tune of like, I think it was $26 billion or something. so that they can change their offer for Warner Brothers to be all cash versus a combo of stock. So whenever you borrow money like that, that's affecting your balance sheet and your debt profile. Wall Street's not going to like that. So that plus their projected slower growth rate ahead is what caused the stock to tank. But a silver lining of that is they have 325 million members, which is actually more than a lot of the companies we know in terms of paid memberships. So it's pretty. My take on Netflix is amazing earnings. They're crushing it. They've got some things that are going to affect their financials in the near term, but long term, they're good to go.
Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, it almost touched 80 in like overnight. I missed it, of course, but
yeah, you didn't respond. I was like, did you get it at 80? You said you wanted it at 80.
I know, I wanted it at 80. It like, I think what was the low? It was like 80.05, but it wasn't overnight too, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, so it's come back a little bit. I think it's holding at this level now on $85. So we'll just see. I was implementing my 3-day rule to prevent another Meta Microsoft where it keeps on dipping. So so that's why I was like also,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
touched.
This stock was at 130 in June.
Yeah.
So
I know it's down like 30-35%, right? Yeah. So it's everybody expects it to come back. Again, long term, if you got long term view, should be fine.
Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it holding past this mark.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's that?
I was gonna say, if this earnings was probably the worst news that could happen to Netflix, unless the Warner Brother deal gets trashed or in some form or fashion, which actually might be a positive. I haven't decided yet, because the EU regulators are now saying they want to look into it. It's obviously going to pass the US, which the admin favors Ellison and Kushner, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm still not sure if it'll sell the news or buy the results this time.
Yeah, I'm hyped on the acquisition for Netflix because that makes me more bullish. This last couple weeks
it brings
here,
in a lot of IP, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of shows starting their new seasons on HBO this last couple weeks, and I'm only watching HBO like the last 3 weeks here. I'm watching Industry. Have you watched Industry?
No. Which one is that one about?
You would like it. I think I've told you about it before, but it's about financial bankers basically, and like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Industry. The new Game of Thrones spinoff started last week. Seven Kingdoms
prequel, but it's like the side story of what's his name?
Yeah, Duncan.
Yeah.
It's like new characters that you don't even know about, but it's like it's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. What else is going? Oh, I started watching The Pit because they got a lot of awards during the Golden Globes. It's Noah Wiley, and he was on ER, but he's had a lot of doctor roles, and it's basically just covering the ER in Pittsburgh.
So it's another doctor.
Yeah. But it's really good because I haven't watched many doctor shows lately, but they actually show like actual like surgery and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they did it. I wanted to look up like how they actually made it so realistic.
Yeah.
But it's really good. There's one more that and then obviously White Lotus. I'm waiting for White Lotus to come back. Oh, Euphoria is coming back, which I don't know if you watched Euphoria, but that's a pretty cool show. So there's a lot of shows right now that's keeping me plugged into HBO, to which if Netflix were to get, that'd be awesome.
Okay, cool.
So yes, I did add more to my position. I actually sold some TTD that I'm still bag holding, and I put some of that into Netflix, and I put some of that into Rivian.
I haven't touched it yet. I was waiting for it to maybe go back to like the 15, 14.
It hit 15.
Did it?
15 like 80 or 15 something.
I think the one I looked at, it was like a 16, and I was like, okay, a buck more. I've been paying too much attention to try and pick up a space stock here and there, but I keep missing my window, which is kind of making me angry. My entries are I'm probably aiming for too low. That's my problem.
I have said that before.
Yeah.
Or when you do aim for too low, you don't even get it, like Netflix.
Yeah, I know. And then like Microsoft had a strong week. Meta was.
I think your problem, Tony, is that you're not even entering at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're
I
just
bought some
playing
Meta.
your 0-day calls.
I bought Meta again, but I also sold it too.
Yeah.
Because earnings is next week. But anyways, yeah, so the other big earnings this week was Intel. Man, Intel.
Sad.
So the stock has been on a tear ever since the government announced that they took a stake into it. I think it's up like, is it 35-40% since then, which is kind of insane. Like the low 30s up until like it tapped like 50, 55 or 54 before the earnings. And then earnings came out and not shocked really. It ended up being down 17% as of yesterday. So anyways, terrible earnings. Guidance was terrible. It was just a bad earnings overall. I
Well, and
feel
they're
like.
having production issues, right?
See, they say production issues, but I was reading some commentary on Twitter, and it sounded like it was more about mismanagement. Like management mispredicted where they should be allocating, because I think the big issue is that they had billions of dollars in inventory sitting around, and one analyst asked is like, you have your own foundries, you are making these chips yourself, so how could you have so much inventory like stocked up, right? And CTO and stuff, or not CTO, the CFO started floundering and stuff, and it was like, okay, Intel really needs a management shakeup.
Yeah.
They're just not doing good.
Yeah. So I wonder what's gonna happen here. I mean, the stock needs to settle.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there is a management shakeup. Who knows? But yeah, that was hard to see.
They have so
Mostly because
many.
we're just pulling for Intel, right? Being the American.
Yeah, I mean, they had so many tailwinds going for them, and yet they still managed to like mess it all up. Like I don't. It's just, yeah.
How old or new is the current executive team?
I have no idea.
Let me see. Okay, their CEO Lip Bhutan.
No, no.
What?
Oh, maybe he's Vietnamese.
He started actually last year.
He's out, so he's an external CEO.
Yeah, he's a CEO.
I'm sure
Sorry, what'd you say? He's the external?
Huh?
What'd you say? He's the external CEO?
Oh, I thought you said he's only been there for a year, which
Yeah. So yeah, he's been there for a year. He started last year in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he replaced the other dude.
And then everyone else, I mean, it's actually relatively new. So
Really?
their CFO has been there for 4 years. Strategy officer has been there the longest since 2020. CTO has been there since last year. And their foundry EVP has been there since last year. So they're all kind of new since last year. And so, I mean, it's the 2-year rule, right? Like usually these execs have 2 years to do what they need to do before they get ousted.
Yeah. So all right, I guess we'll see. It's pretty big flub though.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like AMD or Nvidia, right? Jensen and Lisa Su, it's like you always get the sense that they are ahead of where the market needs to be, right? And so how they've positioned their companies relatively is it's where it needs to be, right? Where Intel, it's like they can't seem to catch up, right? They're like mispredicting where the market needs to go, which is, it feels like that's the story of Intel, right? They just don't seem to have that sense of where, now that they don't lead the market like they used to, right? They have no sense of how to take that leadership back. And that's kind of like what I feel like.
We've talked about it, like culture. It comes down to just the roots ground culture of like the company, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to change quickly.
Yeah.
Lip Bhutan, he's Malaysian, but he grew up in Singapore.
Because I thought he was Chinese. So Malaysian is, a lot of Malaysian people are Chinese. Malaysian. Okay.
All right. Well, those are the two that we wanted to chat through this week just because they're the most notable. But obviously, as we said, next week is going to be a big one for earnings.
Yeah. I was looking, next week is, I was going to call Ryanair out just because that has been on fire this week too. You've seen it.
Yeah. Because of their thing with Trump, right?
No, it's their beef with Elon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Elon. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Sorry. So who knows? Elon might pull a Twitter and buy Ryanair just out of spite. But anyways, so if you don't know what that's about, look it up. Elon Ryanair beef. But anyways, so a lot of big earnings. I like UPS. It'll be good to see how that is doing, mainly just from a commerce perspective. What do we have? Oh yeah, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, wow, Apple. So yeah, a lot of big names next week.
Boeing.
FOMC rate decision on Wednesday. Wonder what that's going to be.
I think it's just going to be status quo.
Yeah, no change. I'd be shocked if they lowered rates.
Yep, some good earnings. It's going to be a fun week.
Busy week.
Maybe I need to put on my day trading hat for a couple days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep you updated as to how this week goes. But stay safe out there. We are not financial investors. This is for entertainment and just telling you what we're doing with our money. We shall see. While you were talking, I actually thought about another nugget: ChatGPT and ads. Ads are coming soon. So
Yeah.
I think there was some more news that came out this last week around it, but I would expect to see ads in the next month, quite honestly.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was actually trying Anthropic's Claude this week. So far, so good. I like it better from coding. I was trying to create a Pine script for TradingView, and I was doing a comparison between it and ChatGPT. Yeah, good.
I'm trying to move to Claude, actually. So I've been using Claude a lot more as well for coding. And it just redid this whole website that I've been doing, and it came out really good.
Really?
The only problem I have with Claude is it doesn't do image generation, which Chat.
Interesting. I didn't realize it. No, it doesn't. Okay.
But Banana does much better image generation than ChatGPT. So I actually tried to cancel my ChatGPT this past weekend, my subscription, and it gave me a month free.
Oh, did it really?
To keep me. So I just said, okay, I'll take a month free. And so now I haven't had it for another month and a half, but I am actually trying to actively move to Claude.
Oh, wow. Yeah, apparently there's a code red going on at ChatGPT, at OpenAI right now in general, because of they appear to be losing market share. So
it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And then the whole Apple thing is going to cause them to lose even more market share.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. They better IPO quickly if they want to build on the hype.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for this episode. Reminder, non-tech related, but the Winter Olympics starts in about a week and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. In Milan, Italy.
Got it.
So that'll be...
That's what happens when you don't watch TV is I don't see any of the commercials.
Go Team USA. But yeah, we will come back next week and have a lot of juicy earnings recaps for you.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right. Talk to you next week, Tony.
See ya.